Hello and welcome to all you Libras. This is your yearly horoscope for 2022 for the sign of Libra in general, of course. And I'm going to focus on the main things like the Venus and Mars retrograde, the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, Jupiter in your opposite sign of Aries. That's going to be fun for the Librans, and especially when it comes to relationships. And the nodes that are shifting, a bit of the outer planets as well. But let's get started with the beginning of the year. So you could say December 2021, but into January and February of 2022. Your fourth house, which is your core, is going to be highlighted, and that has a knock-on effect for the rest of the year. So the theme of the year is definitely emotional support, emotional well-being, being your own mom, basically being your own parent. I can't put it in another way. And that is because the Venus retrograde that will be going on in Capricorn, it's not just a Venus retrograde going backwards and forwards in that fourth house of yours, because you want to improve. When Venus goes into the fourth house, it wants to improve your home, literally by decorating it a bit more beautiful. If that isn't the Libra thing, then I don't know. It's having a good time at home, but it's also in combination with a conjunction of Mars and Pluto. So we're gonna have Venus-Mars conjunction, which is passion, and together with Pluto, which is deep transformation. So for a lot of you, there is a deep transformation going on, some sort of a dying and rebirth. So, and it's all good and well to be reborn, but a lot of people don't really know how to detach themselves from before they go into something new. And that will be for you, for some of you Librans, literally the case with selling a house and buying a new house, for instance, or doing renovations, and you're doing this in a very passionate way. During that time, you could say of December, January, February, but more on a psychological level. It has to do with you. It has to do with your inner well-being, with mothering yourself, basically. And your old paradigm of, maybe in your case, people pleasing, which you find a lot in people who have Libra energy. Not all of them, of course, but most of them. They kind of are focused towards others a lot. But this is calling you to focus on you, to focus on your own needs. Or there could be a parent as well going through that sort of a transformation, and that has a knock-on effect on you as well. That could also be the case. But whatever it is, it starts off that year. And all Librans will feel it. But the Libras who have planets around 25 degrees will feel it the most. And these are the later born Libras. So the ones who have a birthday around 17th October and onwards. So the late born Libras will feel it the most. And a bit of tension even, towards the self and towards that emotional setup that there is something about your emotional setup that is not healthy anymore. So that needs to go. And it's holding on to it even stronger is going to make it worse. And if you are saying, but Virla, I'm already doing that, I'm already adapting, I'm already trying to have a new paradigm when it comes to my emotional well-being, very good, keep on going. But Pluto will be there for the rest of the year again, so you are already used to that energy of transformation when it comes to those things, those areas of life. But this will be a bit of a focus during the first months. Now, can also mean that you're very passionate about living together with someone. Could mean that as well, the ruler of the first house, the ruler of the seventh house with Pluto, transformation. Or you're, you are shifting homes, for instance, and that has a transformational. Maybe you meet someone, for instance, maybe you are single. Let's say you are single and you meet someone and that you need to move because of that. Maybe you need to sell everything, and in order to start up a new life with a lover, that kind of energy is quite life transforming. Yeah, it's a very interesting energy for the Librans. But anyway, what else is there? Jupiter, then towards April time, especially the 12th of April, but around that time, you have the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction in your 6th house. Now, that can be a time for the Librans where they have a difficulty with finding their routines and strengthening them. Because Jupiter-Neptune is a lot of la-la energy, you know, it's like, oh, yeah, having a good time and waking up at 11 o'clock in the morning, and you know, whilst you have tons of things to do. But it could be a bit more difficult to have the right routine. On another level, if you are grounded enough to have the basics right, you can really enjoy this time of a bit more relaxing time. So it could mean that you're going your day-to-day routines, it's going a bit more fluently, or you have a bit more time off to just go with the flow, actually, when it comes to your day. And that can give you a really good purpose, a really good feeling, but still finding purpose in your day-to-day life and in your work and in the things that you do, in your health as well. There could be some good relaxing stuff coming up for you when it comes to your health. And then in May, around the 11th of May up until the 29th of October, Jupiter shifts into your relationship sector. So that means relationships in the spotlight for sure. Single or not, Jupiter in the 7th house is very good energy. So if you're having a rough time, and let's say you had a divorce or you're about to divorce, Jupiter in the 7th means it's an easy divorce. When you are having just a bit of a hard time with your spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend, Jupiter in the 7th means like, yeah, we're having purpose here. Things are going forwards again. Or something in the life of that other person happens that is expanding them or expansive for them, and that has a knock-on effect on you. And when you are single, of course, Jupiter in the 7th house can mean meeting someone. And it's a very Jupiterian kind of character in Aries. So Jupiter has to do with uplifting energy, a very optimistic soul, a very spiritual as well, or at least a broad perspective, a wise person. That's Jupiter as well. A wise person can come into your life, and but it's also very fiery. Of course, it's Aries after all. And or someone from a different background, a different cultural background, someone who's got a broad perspective on life, and that helps you to find more meaning in yourself and in your connections. So definitely when it comes to relationships, very, very nice. You know, you're gonna have, when you're looking for a relationship, you could have even, you know, when you're that lucky one, finding more than just one person. I mean, Jupiter is that kind of energy, you know, having lots of opportunity, and that can be tricky, especially for a Libran. You know, choosing is not always easy for them, but you will find it out, you will figure it out for sure. And I would say enjoy the positivity of people that are going to bring that energy into your life. It's a mirror, of course, of how you feel about yourself. Then the North Node is shifting into Taurus as from the beginning of the year, and will stay there. And the North Node is where we need to put our focus on. And the 8th house is actually, it's a money house, but also a house of a psychological house, a metaphysical house. So you could have more interest in that, more interest in the metaphysical side of life, having an interest in the occult, having an interest in deep stuff, psychological stuff, transformation, having an interest also in a bit more intimacy in your life, you know. Therefore, it's also very, especially in Taurus, it's very good energy. When you have a relationship that just started, for instance, and then Jupiter there is a very good energy indeed to Jupiter. What am I saying? No, it's not Jupiter, it's the North Node. It's a very good energy to point towards that, to kind of want to focus a little bit more on that. Also on resources that you share with other people, investments, inheritances, but also the word of other people. So that you focus on the resources of other people that you can also benefit from. It doesn't necessarily always have to mean finances. It can be the know-how of someone else because of a business partner. You kind of have a business partner where you have a project that you do together, and they're bringing in their knowledge, and that helps you out. That kind of stuff. And it's a bit less focusing on your own resources, but more on, you know, what you can achieve with another person, or with whether it is a business partner, a marriage partner, and so on. So this is a lot like energy for the rest of well, for the whole year basically. Then the Uranus Saturn square that was full on in 2021, I'm not going to talk about it because you're not a fixed sign. So you're not going to feel that a lot. And it's only in October, around your birthday, that you will feel maybe a little bit more tension there with Saturn in Aquarius in your 5th house. But again, this Saturn is trining your energy. So you could be dealing with maybe having fun every now and then. It's not always easy. You have to implement some structure there. Of course, when we implement structure in spontaneity, it is a bit weird. But you could have some hobbies there where you try to minimalize, less is more, for instance, and that's gonna be good for you. I don't think that Saturn-Uranus square is really important for the Librans in general, unless you have, of course, very important planets like the Moon or Venus or Mars in a fixed sign. But that's too detailed here. Now, the Mars retrograde. Yes, there is this Mars retrograde as well that is going on for you in Gemini. So Mars is your actions, and Mars is normally like 6 weeks in a sign, but now it's going to be 7 months in the same sign of a fellow air sign of Gemini. And that is from August up until like March of 2023. So that's a pretty long time to have Mars in the 9th house, which is lovely. It can be very fiery when it comes to, again, the metaphysical side of life that you want to explore, that you want to study. The 9th house is the house of study. So if you are a student, this is magnificent. This is very, very good energy. And because it goes backwards and forwards, and you are revisiting, so to speak, what you're learning. And that's a good, for the Librans, oh, my son is a Libra. That will be good for his studies. That will be nice. It's going pretty well, you know. Yeah, it's an amazing time to study, to travel as well. It's an amazing time to travel, to do a lot of activities abroad. Mars in the 9th house. To study languages, to study something that has to do with communication, because it's in Gemini after all. For sales abroad, YouTube channels, you know, where you can reach a lot of people. Publishing, all of it. If you want to publish a book, it's very good. But the results will come when Mars goes direct, which will be on, as from January of 2023. So before that, it's a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy that can be put there. So maybe a lot of traveling as well, going backwards and forwards to different countries. So very expansive energy. This is going to broaden your perspective for sure. And this retrograde, you are one of the signs that benefit the most out of this Mars in Gemini retrograde period. Although it is said something is becoming a bit more difficult, or it deepens certainly the house that it is transiting in. So for you, it will deepen your perspective, and but in an easy way, as it is in a trine with your sign. So we talked about Pluto, we talked about Neptune there. Yeah, we talked about most of the planets. Uranus will be in your 8th house as well. So there could be some sudden changes that refer to especially with the North Node there as well. That refers to the shared resources that I was talking about, but also the insights that you get on a level of the, you know, the transformation side of life, the psychological side of life. Anyways, I've been going on and on. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you all the best for 2022. Have a good year. Bye-bye.